Can I read you guys something and you can tell me there's a group called Committee to Unleash Prosperity, but two researchers, Stephen Moore and John Decker, this is in the Wall Street Journal article I posted in the group chat. The pair studied the resumes of 68 top executive branch officials whose work shapes the economy, from President Biden and Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen to White House special assistants on economic policy. Quote, average business experience of Biden appointees is only 2.4 years.
What?
Any fresh-faced 25-year-old on Wall Street has clocked more private business hours, again, I'm reading from the Journal article, than most of Washington's top officials. 62% have, quote, virtually no business experience, unquote.
And we could have had
Bloomberg. The
Bloomberg.
average Donald Trump cabinet official had 13 years of experience in the private economy, the authors say.
What a disaster.
So like 60-something% of Democrats want to get rid of Biden. They don't want him to run again. I've never seen a president been defected on, been turned on by his own party so quickly into an administration.
He needs to take back ownership of the Democratic Party, which means he has to pivot back to the center, and he needs to have a wholesale replacement of the team that he works with on domestic policy. It's not working.
And Chamath, that was his pitch. We're going to go back to normalcy. He was going to be more of a centrist, and that's not what we've gotten. But of course, he was handed the disastrous economy that Trump created.
Why do you say he was handed a disastrous economy, per se?
Because of COVID and because of the massive stimulus that we spent, those two things. That was like a setup. If Trump won a second, do you think it would be much different? If Trump was running the economy, with the setup was there. Trump probably would have spent more money, right? Trump wanted to spend more money.
It's a really good question, actually. I have to think through that. It's a really good question.
Let's move on. What's the update on Ukraine?
There's a really interesting chess game going on right now where the Russians are slowing the flow of gas.
No, it's better than that. It's better than that. They shut down Nord Stream 1 for their annual maintenance.
Bullshit.
It's supposed to be back up by July 21st. And so the real question is, what happens if Putin hand checks Europe and just takes an extra day or two to get that thing back up and going?
Let me make a prediction. I think the Western alliance is going to fracture come this winter.
Yeah, Germany's going to be freezing. The Germans are not going to take this well when they can't put their heat on.
Listen, a foreign policy based on virtue signaling is one thing when your economy is good and you're not worried about your energy security and you can heat your homes. It's another thing to have a foreign policy based on virtue signaling when your economy is in recession, you got runaway inflation, and you're in winter and you can't heat your homes.
Your morals change real quick, don't they? Yeah. 3
or 4 months ago, the liberal interventionists were triumphant about this Ukraine war. There were 3 big predictions. One, that Ukraine was going to win. It looked like Ukraine was winning the first couple of weeks, but now it looks like Russia has won this Donbass region. Number 2, they predicted that we would collapse the Russian economy with all these sanctions. The opposites happened. We've collapsed our own economy. And number 3, they predicted this would strengthen the Western alliance. That's the only card that hasn't basically turned yet. And I think it will this winter. I think you're going to see serious opposition to the way that the Biden administration has led the Western response.
I think it's said that if Germany has the gas lines that Sri Lanka had, you would see a definite fracturing of how people look at it, just like they flipped last week and they made natural gas and nukes, nuclear power, a green energy. So yeah, their morals and ethics and their virtue signaling go as far as their wallets and their heat and meals go.